Hey everybody, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. I hope you're all doing well. This video finds you well. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Much appreciated. If you're new, please take a moment and leave a comment. Let me know you're a first-time viewer. If you are, if you're returning, thank you very much. It's always much appreciated. Allows me to have some type of audience and some interaction here in the VC. Even if I am one of those ones that's quite sporadic, I may post a video every other day and then maybe not for a couple of weeks. That's just the way it is. But I'm here today, as you may have seen in one of my previous videos. I picked up a whole bunch of records recently, and absolutely free, sort of. I mean, it was a method of payment. So I went through them, and I didn't go through a whole lot of them. I was, like I say, very kind of limited amount of time I had. I had to make my next appointment. But I spent a good 20 minutes there. I went through a bunch quickly. And so I scored a good, I don't even know how many there are here. I didn't count them. I've taken them all out. I've been going through the process of cleaning them. So I'm just going to share those with you. I'll go through them quickly. I won't speak too much about them. Just this kind of thing usually doesn't happen to me. I don't get free records. Everything I have, it's stuff I've had in my collection, or as I've had to purchase, or they've been VCLT to me on a couple of occasions. I don't forget that, so I want to make sure I mention that from Rick and Records, who is still doing his contest, by the way. So this is an opportunity to let you know he's pushing for 300. It's his Double Down contest. So go over there and sub up Rick and post a video for his contest. One of them was from him in a roundabout way, and it was actually from Rachel's Ghost. She VCLT'd me that record through Rick. Remember, another one of the VCLTs I got was from my good buddy Aaron over at Aaron Musa Alamir. I digress. So those things, I don't forget where they came from, but the others I've sourced through my own greenbacks, if you will, or whatever, right? So without further ado, I'll get to these. I'll go through them quickly. One of the ones that stood out to me, because I have a wish list of things that I'd like to source on vinyl on my Discogs account. And one of them in there is this one. This is Rod Stewart's solo debut after he left Beck. And yeah, it's the sleeve itself is beat up pretty good, but you know, I took the vinyl here. I've given it a pretty good clean, and it's not bad. Certainly not going to complain about stuff being, you know, basically for free. So, and it was one that I'd wanted. And one thing I didn't know about this, I was mentioning this to buddy Steve over there at All the World's a Stage, is Keith Emerson from Emerson Lake Palmer appears on here. One of the songs he plays keys on. Of course, I'm sure he's in high demand in many occasions because he's a fantastic, don't have to tell most people. Yeah, Keith Emerson on organ here. He appears on I Wouldn't Ever Change a Thing. But yeah, it's got the members here in the band, and Keith Emerson being there. You can hear it, credit it. You can see how, you know, it's beat up. I'm not gonna pretend. It's had some tape, you know, holding together, even a marking on the back, and some pretty serious ring wear. But as I've mentioned before to anybody who's seen my videos and watched my channel, not a big deal to me, honestly. The outer sleeve, I obviously prefer to have them in good condition and looking nice. I like to put some on display or whatnot, but are you going to be able to tell from watching my videos what kind of condition is? I don't think so. But the important thing is the actual wax. And the vinyl, in most of these instances, the ones I've listened to thus far, are fantastic. And at least very good to very good plus, and mint, near mint in some cases. So they had a few Rod Stewart that I grabbed. This one is Camouflage. And I didn't know that about this album, but I guess there was about 12 different variations released. And if you wanted to collect them all and you're a diehard, you put it together, and it, I guess, makes up the picture of Rod. And I looked on Discogs, and this variant wasn't on here. This is variant A, 9250951A. So I tried to add it to the Discogs database, but we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, it's got the inner sleeve, and like I say, the vinyl itself is in good condition. Here I am going through each one of these like I was going to try and avoid. But I won't do that anymore, I promise. Rings hollow after I just said that, right? My mic's still on, everybody? See the little green LED? Yeah, it's on, okay. Never know when it's going to cut out. I've had that happen to me before, and I've had to reshoot the whole damn thing. So, another Rod Stewart. Foolish Behavior. Again, got the insert, the vinyl in there. And this one, I've seen this online, but I never had it. It's a pretty cool one. What is this one? It's got this little sleeve that pulls out the top. Sing It Again, Rod. And I like Rod Stewart's early stuff. I know he went through that whole disco phase or whatever, and a lot of artists tried to appease the masses or the fads that were happening with the disco. But it's I like his early stuff, like I say, especially like the stuff with Beck. Pat Benatar, Seven the Hard Way. Grabbed that too. It was there, and some of this stuff has got writing on the inner sleeves and whatnot, which is unfortunate, but nothing that affects the wax, like I alluded to. It plays fine. Christopher Cross. I don't think that had an inner sleeve in it. It just had a paper one, which I just usually toss them away, or I put them inside and then put them in a one of the vinyl sleeves, usually the rice paper ones that I prefer, but anything better than that, well, hey, it's subjective. It's just an opinion. I remember seeing this years ago, and that was there, so I grabbed it. Sun City, Artists United Against Apartheid. Cleaned up well. The vinyl looks good, like I say. It's got an inner sleeve there, I think it had. Yes, it does. Again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time there, but she did say I could take whatever ones, Donovan, Greatest Hits. And it's funny because I listen to this, and a lot of this stuff is quite familiar with me, even though I am not a huge Donovan fan, or wasn't anyway, but certainly familiar with the Hurdy-Gurdy Man, and there's probably other ones there. Season of the Witch, yeah. So Donovan's Greatest Hits and Hall and Oates, that screams 80s, isn't it? This is early 80s. Is this the one with the Man Eater? Yeah, Man Eater. What else is on there that's familiar? Family Man, One on One. What year was this? 84? 82. So 1982 for that H2O, Hall and Oates. Julian Lennon. This is in really good condition. What is that? Velo? I don't know. Not very French, so yeah, it's got the inner sleeve in this one as well, I believe. Yeah, inner sleeve, I believe. So yeah, score. This, my brother had this on 8-track, one of my older brothers, so always liked these guys. Of course, it's Grand Funk. All the girls in the world, beware. And again, the wax is cleaned up pretty good. It's not terrible, but it certainly shows its wear. I love this inner sleeve with the 75 World Tour. And of course, two of the places they appeared in Canada were both out west. Where is it here? One was Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton and Vancouver. May 9th, Edmonton. Or May 9th, Vancouver. May 11th, Edmonton, 75. I just mentioned that because that's where a lot of my wife's family is from, is Edmonton, Alberta. Another one that was in that pile, the Little River Band, Time Exposure. And again, I should hurry along here. They're running a little long here. Rare Earth in Concert. This is kind of a neat one. It's a double album. It's got the old, remember these school backpacks? I remember these. People had them. Kind of an army type thing, and it opens up like that. And it says pull here, but it's never been taken out from what I can tell. It's still attached, but there is a part there that, yeah, it's attached inside that you're supposed to take apart, evidently. But I'll leave it. I'll leave it intact. It's a gooder. Yeah, it's still attached in there. I'm not going to pull on it. It'll just pull it apart. But it's on that old, what is this label called? I forget what that label is called. I'm not big into the whole labels, titles, and all that stuff, but pretty cool. Rare Earth. And another little river band. This one is First The Wire. Is that what it's called? First Under the Wire. Oh, I see the underscore. First Under the Wire. Got the inner sleeve there. Again. I'll take it. What do you say? So this is actually really one of my favorite tunes on here. I remember this from back in the day. Cool Change. Love that song. Yeah. And this was actually, looks like it was compliments of CFCF Radio 60. That's right here in Montreal. And they're actually defunct now. They're not a station anymore. I think they were bought up by, I don't know if it was a chorus conglomerate or something. Anyway, they don't exist anymore. They were on the AM radio dial. I looked it up. Another one. I didn't have this on vinyl, so it was kind of nice. Good Canadian band here. Trooper. Love that. Knock 'em Dead Kid. One of the bands I have seen live. One of the few. Back home. Seen them in a little pub in Summerside, PEI. Yeah, I always liked these guys. Always had, these were always in my wheelhouse, in my household, from my older brothers, older siblings. It's on that old Rainbow MCA label. Love that one. We are here for a good time. Here's another one, a Canadian compilation I saw with one of those old K-Tel records. Canada Gold. Some good old tunes on here. The only problem with a lot of these compilations is you've heard it before. They squeeze like, oh, this one in particular has got 22 songs on it. So, they're compressed a fair bit. And oftentimes they're shorter, like the radio versions as well, not the LP versions. Another one here, I really dig these guys. Wishbone Ash on that MCA Rainbow label as well. I haven't looked up a lot of these yet. I don't know what pressing they are. Wishbone 4, this one, Wishbone, oh, it says right there. So I'm not super familiar with all their stuff, but I know what I have heard I really like. And I did listen to that one. It sounds pretty decent. Oh, this one. Well, Donnie Iris. I think probably everybody's got this in their collection, or certainly have heard it anyway. Back on the Streets. And if you're not familiar, then you probably know the lead off track there. Leah. Or Leah, whatever. But yeah, it's it. The record itself is in good shape. So grab that. And this one I was surprised, and I mentioned this to Buddy Steve there, and he had said, and I agree because I don't see it very often, it's hard to find this in the wild in good condition. Unfortunately, this one isn't necessarily in that good condition, but I grabbed it anyway. Okay? So, brain salad surgery. I was just mentioning Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So it's got the open up there. And then the record goes in the center. But yeah, it's not in great shape. If you look closely, you can see there's a tear there. I tried to salvage and clean up, but I didn't have it. So, hey, now I do. And the vinyl itself is maybe good to very good. There's some quiet spots on there that are pretty crackly, but whatever. I didn't have it before, so. And then I saw this, and I remember seeing this movie. Well, what do I know? But yeah, American Graffiti. Who hasn't seen that? Well, maybe many of the younger generation, but didn't know there was a soundtrack to it. But it's a gatefold that opens up. Both of the records are in there, and just the paper sleeves. Nothing to show you there, but pretty cool. I loved this movie when I was younger. Still holds up. And for those movie buffs, I think it's probably one of Harrison Ford's first appearances. He's driving his 55 Chev. I believe he was the 55 Chev owner. Who owned the little coupe? I forget. But who else is in this? Is it Richard Dreyfuss? I think Richard Dreyfuss is in this. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Score on that one. This one I had seen around, and it's the album cover I think is a bit deceiving, but it's called Witch Queen. And really, they're just doing cover songs on here of All Right Now and Bang a Gone, Got the Time. So, yeah, give it a bit of a spin. I think this is a kind of a local, I don't know, I think they're out of Montreal. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. I'm just going by some of the names on here. They sound very francophone to me, but I'm certainly not an authority in that kind of thing. When I read a name like Heather Gauthier and Mario Cadeau, that sounds francophone. So I guess if you say it that way, a lot of things could sound francophone. So I don't know. If you know, let me know. But yeah, nothing that moves the needle too much for me anyway. This one, of course, classic. And this has no sleeve in it at all. We don't know what kind of condition it's in, but it's Buddy Holly Lives. Buddy Holly, the Crickets, 20 Golden Grapes. So, yeah, never had it before. Now I do. That'll Be Today, Peggy Sue, all the popular ones I would suggest. And then this, I remember this from back in the day. My wife was happy I scored this because she had it too. Loves this. We both love Steve Martin. And of course, this would be the one with King Tut on it. His popular song back then. And what was this, 78? Is there a date on here? Must be a date. Yeah, 1978. And it's got the inner sleeve intact. The vinyl looks pretty clean. And there's actually a little card in there too. I remember seeing, yeah. Pull that out. Yeah, I'm sure these are a dime a dozen, so probably nothing rare or obscure about this. It's just kind of a cool find. I see it all. I mean, it was one I had on my wish list just because I remember it, so it's got that nostalgia to it. And the Best of Bread. Yeah, Make It With You. Everything I Own. Yeah, there's a lot of tunes I remember on this. This is 1973, this one. No inner sleeve. No. So, but it does have the vinyl. This one I haven't cleaned yet, so yeah, it looks pretty. We'll see. We'll see. I shouldn't have stopped at saying it looked pretty. It looks pretty dirty. That's what I should have said. What is this? Paul Young, The Secret of Association. I remember it. I can't say I'm super familiar with it. Every time I say that, super familiar. It reminds me of what's his name there? Steve Carell from The Office.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
It's super clean. This one is clean. You can't say it's super clean. But I am super stoked to get all these, if you can't tell. And then this one, my sister had this one. This is another one of these records where this reminds me of her every time I hear it. And that's just cool in its own way. My oldest sister, Deanna, Ronnie Millsap, greatest hits. Smoky Mountain Rain. Yeah. And I don't know if I recognize anything else on here, although I'm sure I would when I play it. Probably every one of these is played ad nauseum in my house growing up. My older sister, at least I credit her to it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it wasn't her, but I think it was. I could think a lot of things that aren't necessarily true, but if she happens to see this, Deanna, leave a comment. But yeah, another one. It's free, and then classic. Saw this, and I don't know how common or rare it is in the wild, but I dig Joe Cocker. Of course, more familiar with his cover of "Little Help from My Friends" by the Beatles and his performance at Woodstock. But yeah, just got an inner sleeve. Oh, it does. It does. It's actually wow. It's a lined plastic lined sleeve too. Oh, this one is pretty dirty though. Haven't cleaned this yet. It's on the old A&M label. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty dirty. I mean, it doesn't look. Yeah, now you can see it, right? It doesn't look scratchy. It depends. We'll see how clean it comes after I put it through a wash, but we'll see. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. If it plays, then great. If it doesn't, I'm still ahead. Didn't cost me a dime. So that's it. That's I just want to share that. I don't often get stuff like this, so when I can share them, that's what this is all about. This is a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're approaching 25 minutes here, so I'm gonna wrap it up with that. And I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment about any of these things. If you have any comments about these or your experience in this regard, you ever get yourself some free vinyl that are passed your way. And as I mentioned, go over to, I hope that doesn't sound too loud with this mic. I apologize if it does and can't really modulate it. But go over to Rick and Records and sub him up and get him up to that 300, double down. He was at 150 when he started, so I know he's getting up there. But yeah, he's going to do the draw once he reaches 300. So get your entry into his contest. And yeah. And thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate everyone who does so. And whether you leave a comment or not, that's up to you. Like it if you like it. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Just be kind, cordial, the usual. And I'll leave it at that. See you next time here at Twanger's Turntable. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoy your day, your evening, whatever, and spend it with those you love and enjoy being around. What's the point if you don't? Take care. Cheers.